as we all set ourselves to help and to this very need of our country and the world over. May we always be mindful of the needs of others that do not have access to literacy. Through Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Can I kindly request none other than Sharon Lalam to kindly give us a loyal toast.
Thank you, President. Good morning, everyone on call. Let us toast to the good health of the President of the Republic of Uganda. To His Excellency.
So the President of the
Republic of Uganda. Awesome. Thank you very much for starting us off that way. So we'll straight away delve into the discussion. And I just want to anchor our engagement today. First and foremost, as you very well know, this next Rotary area, we are focusing on basic education and literacy enhancement. Those are our core objectives that we want to really aim at. We want to see to it that we enhance children. If they ask you that, what are the objectives of BELEP? It is very important that you as a BELEP officer, you as an amazing president, you as an amazing Rotarian, you know what are the objectives of this initiative that we are really gathering ourselves to create focus on. So it is very, very important that you get to know of these objectives. One, we want to enhance children's literacy skills, both at home and at school. Two, we want to empower teachers by retooling them to competently manage basic education and literacy initiatives. We also want to increase the number of children now. That is, these words should be in bold: joining and successfully completing. You so much so that we have a good enrollment in our primary schools, but the completion is not very good. So we want to make a contribution towards successful completion of children in school. But we also to enhance awareness of the importance of early childhood development to any children's life and in life of a human being. And we also to provide quality integrated BELEP services for children and their parents, both at school and at home. So these are the objectives, friends. It is like, this is what we are aiming at. And we have definitely many activities, but these are also focused among 4 priority areas, which we have constantly talked about and shared with you. The first priority area, as you very well know, is to enhance literacy, but also enhance literacy by making reading a way of life. Again, in line with our theme, Imagine Rotary, we are imagining a country where reading is a way of life. And there are many activities that we are going to be embarking on below each priority area. The second priority area is the empowerment of teachers to deliver quality basic education. Again, there are activities. We want to increase accessibility to basic education, and we want to influence policy to make basic education a priority in our country. So these are the 4 priority areas that we have really been talking about for so many times. I felt it is important for us to resound these and to resound these, if possible, at each and every engagement. I also want now, today, we are going to focus our discussion around priority area number 1, which is enhancing literacy, that is making reading a way of life. And at this point, I want to make some bit of clarifications for some information that has been coming through. There is an appeal. I'm sure we all received a message from the district. There is an appeal to us as clubs that July being the first month of our Rotary year, can we focus on really demystifying, clarifying, and better understanding BELEP? It could be a subject on any of these issues that we have been talking about. The question is, where does your club stand Where does your club need a little more guidance, a little more clarification? And you are therefore encouraged to. We have a very, 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 very big team, and I like what some BELEP officers are doing in their clubs. I've attended presentations to clubs by BELEP officers, and they are amazing. Thank you very much. So we need to continue doing this all through our month of July, so that by the time we start running, we clearly understand the what, the why, and the how, and by when, and all that. So today, I want to talk about us to really clearly understand what we call the D.E.A.R Day. This is really going to be our subject of discussion today. Nothing else but the D.E.A.R Day. First and foremost, I want to first move some clarification. There has been contradicting and confusing information flow. Of course, out of, what can I say, typos, wrong addictions, and all that. And there has been a communication that has really come out that there is no club that is going to do a D.E.A.R Day. No, I want to set the record clear that all clubs are encouraged to do D.E.A.R Day in their respective schools. We are doing something like a satellite model where every club is going to all schools they have selected. We have some clubs that have selected more than one school, and that is very okay. So we hope that when the time comes, the clubs will really go to these schools and encourage them to read. The whole essence is, and this is going to happen actually countrywide, come the 1st of July at exactly 11 a.m. We want to drop everything and read. The whole essence is to send a message that reading is important. So D.E.A.R Day is our first activity that launches our BELEP intervention in the Rotary year. So I hope colleagues that are here, you can go ahead and help us clarify this kind of misconception or confusion that had come across, that these clubs are not allowed to do D.E.A.R Day. My humble apologies to this kind of miscommunications. We really, really apologize for this. And we request that we now know, and we can actually inform the rest that yes, D.E.A.R Day is on, and our workers' clubs is to go to our respective identified schools and conduct the D.E.A.R Day. Our humble request though is, would you please on our BELEP platform, let us know which schools your club will be working with. And we need the name of the school and also the registration number, because the registration number is the unique identifier. There could be a St. Frederick in Kampala, but there could also be a St. Frederick in Imbarara. So we'll have some bit of confusion with St. Frederick, which St. Frederick. But if we get this registration number of the school, then we are able to uniquely identify the school. So my humble appeal to you friends is that please, by the 20th, we have 2 days. I'm requesting by close of business on Monday, if possible, please let us know which schools you will be working with. If you're not able, if you've not closed in on this, as soon as you do, kindly let us know so that we can get to know who is where and what is happening. There are many partners in the D.E.A.R Day activity, as you can see on your screens. We have, of course, like I told you from the beginning, we are working under and within the structure of government. So we have the support of the Ministry of Education and Sports. They are fully aware, in full support of the D.E.A.R Day, as you will hear very soon from the representative of the ministry. We have Peace Corps, which is the lead organization in the D.E.A.R Day. Why? It has run this activity for some good years. So we want to make it much bolder and bigger this time around. We have KCCA, of course, Rotary, and all these other partners that we shall be working with. So what is going to happen that is on the 1st of July, these partners, representatives of these partners will go to the main event, the main location, which is going to be Mulago School of the Deaf. So these partners, representatives of these partners will move to this school to do nothing but to conduct the D.E.A.R Day. So this will really be the main location Why Molago School of the Deaf? We are trying as much as we can to be inclusive. And in this discussion today, we have, if you have questions around that, we will be able to speak to them. So friends, without much ado, I want to not to take much time on this, but invite the speakers to speak to us. We thought that today we would get an engagement where we do nothing but hear from the critical partners, and these are two. One, Minister of Education, two, Peace Corps. We hear from the critical partners what is all about the D.E.A.R Day. But also, we know that you have concerns, you have cares, you have questions, you have comments. We want to capture and respond to all of these questions and concerns and clarify everything regarding the D.E.A.R Day, so that after this, we go with a clear action plan. So with no much further ado, it is my honor and privilege to invite Abe. Abe is from the Ministry of Education, and I did tell you he's called Abe Bosa Mukasa. He's from the Ministry of Education. It is very, very important that you hear from the ministry what is the position of the ministry, but also I know you have questions for the ministry. Abe is, he's running another meeting, so he's here with us for only 30 minutes. So I would like us to use the 30 minutes effectively, interact with him, and we are able to know what guide. If you need any support from the ministry, he's here and he's going to respond to all our concerns. So with no much further ado, it is my singular privilege and honor to invite you, Bosa Abe Musoke. And by the way, he is a Rotarian, much as he is a senior education officer in the Ministry of Education, he is a Rotarian at that. So allow me to welcome you, Abe. Abe, you're welcome. Please speak to us. And after that, we'll take comments and questions and we'll allow you to leave. Over to you, Abe.
Yeah, thank you very much, President. I want to salute all the Rotarians and the members that are present in this meeting. I'm glad to be joining fellow Rotarians in this meeting as we plan for improvement of the quality of education in this country. As well said, my name is Musoke Abe Bosa. I work with the Ministry of Education and Sports, and I am happy to be part of this organization and arrangement for the D.E.A.R Day. As education, we really get so much humbled when we get partners on board that support the engagements that are supposed to have been carried on by the ministry itself, but we are supported with or by the different partners to ensure that we achieve the quality that is supposed to be. Allow me in a special way to recognize, as President Fred has talked about it, let's recognize the presence of Peace Corps. Peace Corps is a very, very influential member in the arrangements that we are talking about today. And of course, when his time or when their time comes, you'll get to hear and learn more from them as we implement. Fellow Rotarians, I want to congratulate you upon reaching the new year and thank you and thank everybody for choosing basic education as the theme, as the way to go. A country where the education system is poor cannot have success in any area or any sector. So we are proud that we chose basic education this year, and I'm happy that we hit the ground running. To give you a brief background of where we are coming from, in particular with the D.E.A.R Day, D.E.A.R Day stands for Drop Everything and Read. This is a day we have celebrated as a ministry for some good years, as Martin will tell you. We have had celebrations. We have had children engaged in reading. We have had children read with us. They have read aloud. They have read as individuals. They have read on teams, on assemblies, in programs, in different programs, and they have been inspired. It is a day that promotes literacy in this country. It is a day when the child recognizes that reading is a core value for education to proceed. So previously, we have been celebrating this day around March. So it was just a change because of the request and the new partner that we got in Rotary that we had to adjust our plan now to move to the 1st of July, as it has been ably explained by President Fred. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for joining in. That is, first of all, the explanation I wanted to give about D.E.A.R Day. What does it entail? We are trying to create a ground as ministry, as educationists, as whoever is in charge and concerned about the learning of our children. We want to create an environment where children proudly read and make reading a way of life. We want to encourage them Although we celebrate it once off, as we say, a D.E.A.R Day, like we have had it or we shall have it on July 1st, we want to make it a culture in their life that on a certain day, fine, we comment, we commensurate, we recognize that we are having this day, but it is part of our reading. As ministry, what we have done, we have programmed for it. D.E.A.R Day is part of our school timetables. It is not a day that we wait for to come at one time of the year to say that we are reading and dropping everything, but it's a day that we have now included in our program as a school or as schools. The children are expected to be reading. The children are expected to be accessing material. It doesn't matter whether they are looking at readers. It doesn't matter whether they are reading newsprint. It doesn't matter whether they are reading textbooks or any other information, as long as it adds value. You and me, who have been here for some time, know that during our school days, our fathers used to bring books to us that would arouse our interest. You remember the bedtime stories. You remember the good readers that we still remember up to now. I was at school some good years ago, and I remember books like the Nile English Course, The Pace, and other readers, which were helping us to improve. So this is what we are trying to bring back. A lot has been eluded in terms of reading because of the advancement in technology, which is a good goal, but we are losing some value, which is in the direction of reading. So fellow Rotarians, we use this day to make sure that the children look at print media, they look at the texts, they look at the books, they look at the novels. They are encouraged by the teacher. We are encouraged by the parents. We many times involve the school management committees and the other members that are present to read with their children. Because if the parents see, if the children see their parents reading with them, they attach value. They feel it's part of their life, and they will always remember that it has been and it will continue to form a very good foundation that will help them read. As ministry, we have had engagements that promote literacy in different ways, but we are happy that this year, our Rotary team or our Rotary district is focusing on promoting literacy. The whole year, as ably articulated by our president, is going to focus on what we can do to improve literacy. I know 1st July will come and go, but we need to keep pushing literacy in terms of building the teachers' capacities, making sure that we have an able teaching force that can enhance the reading skills among learners. Teaching and making sure that the learners themselves do not stop it at that time when they have read for the first time, but they make sure that it's part of their lives. We're also making assessment in terms of reading. Recently, we have other partners that also came on board, which are called Room to Read, the Reading Association of Uganda, and the other partners who are helping us to extend materials to schools and ensure that these schools can ably get chance. Maybe even when the teacher is not in class, these children can pick a book, read it, and make sure that they add value. The reason we thought of this day, a child who cannot read cannot understand what education means to him. Just imagine if your daughter, if your son, if somebody's friend is reading without comprehension. Of course, you're not going to get good results or better way of understanding what is supposed to be. We have had scenarios in the past where the performance at primary living examinations has been poor, but the reason has been that the children are reading without comprehension. So we are using the platform like this of promoting literacy to ensure that now the children read and comprehend what they are reading. If they understand that, it becomes easier to understand and pass all these other subjects. We did a study some time ago, which was relating numeracy to literacy. And this person who was leading us in this said, if the children have got a good foundation in literacy, numeracy is a thing to implement. So ladies and gentlemen, the theme we are talking about here, the topic we are talking about of drop everything and read, is a foundation for everything. Be it the sciences that the country is trying to promote. If the child cannot read, I'm telling you, we shall not be moving in any direction. So that is the reason, that is the background, that is where we are coming from as ministry, and that is why we are promoting this D.E.A.R Day. How are we engaged as ministry? Ministry has been at the center of this because our partners, Peace Corps, and of course now the Rotary Club and our different other partners have been supporting us. But we have now also stepped up the gear Our minister, of course, as we'll hear from Martin or later from some other person from Peace Corps, our minister is at it. We shall have a press conference. I know you're going to get these details. And this press conference is aimed at creating an awareness that every part of the country, every school in this country, every child in school is supposed to be reading. And we are using this day. The teachers are aware. The minister at the headquarters is aware. Our PS is aware, and the ministers are also aware that we are using this time to promote reading. So, ladies and gentlemen, this day is that big. This day has got a lot of meaning on our children's learning. This day has got a lot of meaning in what we plan as Ministry of Education. We have tried in the recent past using the different interventions. We have got what we call other implementation programs in terms of literacy, what we call early grade reading, trying to encourage children to read as early as possible in the early years to make sure that they read and understand. So this is a complement, or this is a supplement of the efforts that we are doing. We have hope that Rotary has got far-reaching effects. Rotary is everywhere in the country. Rotary has got clubs almost everywhere. So this year, 2022, we are looking at D.E.A.R Day as having far-reaching consequences. We have got far-reaching consequences in a positive direction that many children, including those that are going to see it for the first time, are going to get an opportunity to read and read with other people that have got passion for reading. I've already been receiving mails. I have seen partners who have been engaging and they are already notifying, like the president said. You hear some groups saying, for us, we are going to do it in Gulu and we are supporting these schools. For us, we are going to do it in the West Nile and we are supporting these schools. That is the way to go, ladies and gentlemen. We need to ensure that all children in the different corners of the country have an opportunity. And this is a start. We want to pray and ask that it continues this way. Even after this year where Rotary is supporting us, we shall still use the Rotary entry point and make sure that when it comes to D.E.A.R Day, all the children, because this is the vehicle, this is the opportunity we have to ensure that we reach. Otherwise, without this platform, we may not have had chance to access many other areas. So Fred, that is the background I can give. I will open and leave the other time for questions and maybe responses that need to be clarified or talked about. But as ministry, we are moving ahead. I am happy that last week we started putting up posters, which I have seen here being shared. Our teams through the Rotary, through the Peace Corps, are putting up posters to make sure that everybody now feels, the feel is positive. When you talk to schools, when you talk to the ministry, when you talk to the districts, the ground is now ready for us to be in the reading mode. So Fred, that is what I can give for now, but I thank you very much for creating this opportunity for us. We look forward to engaging further, and we are ready to work with all the partners that come on board to support education in this country. Bless you all. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Friends, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, Bosa, Rotarian Bosa from the ministry. Colleagues, you have now heard the position of the ministry, and like he has rightly put it, we have the blessing, we have the support of the ministry. And not just one thing he forgot to say, and I know it will come in our question and session to him. The Ministry of Education does not only exist in Kampala, they have definitely, they work through the structure of government, the local government at all districts, they have representation. So should you need support from the ministry in whichever district that you are at, please reach out to us. And because you've rightly heard, we have support of the ministry. And I think right about now, if you have any question, any comment, any concern that you'd like to voice to the Ministry of Education and Sport regarding this D.E.A.R Day, this is the right moment. I'm going to invite my friend Sandra. If you can't help me for the next I don't know how much time you have for us, Rotarian Bossa, because I know you have another event.
We can use chairman of the next 20 minutes to answer the questions, but there's one that has already come up.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for your kindness, Bossa. So I will invite you, my colleague, Sandra. Sandra is part of the district committee of the BELEP team. If you can help us to moderate the interaction session for the next 20 minutes so that we can address questions from colleagues and concerns that are relating to the ministry. Friends, only to the ministry. The rest of the questions, we have other people that will address them. Sandra, over to you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Frederick. Good morning, Rotarians, partners, and guests. I would like to know if there's anyone who has a question. You can post it in the chat, and I'll be sure to address it to the person you intend to address it to. Thank you. I don't see any hand. I don't see any questions yet. There's only one question in the chat, and it was answered. Someone was asking, what is D.E.A.R Day in full? So yes, you're welcome. Please go ahead and post any questions, and we'll gladly answer. Thank you. Okay, I see there is one question in the chat that has been posted. Who is the officer in charge of BELEP at the schools? And then the same person is asking, is it only for primary schools? Or who is in charge of D.E.A.R Day? That is drop everything and read. Okay, that is 2-in-1 questions coming in. Let's see if there's any other person who will post in the next 2 minutes so we can address them at once.
There are hands. Maybe we can allow people to voice their questions.
Yes. Is it possible for some of us up-country clubs to organize a D.E.A.R Day on a different day, not 1st of July? As a local club, can we go ahead and look for partnership? Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Can you share partners at different regions? Okay. That's many streaming in there. How is publicity done for this day by Ministry of Education? Is it both government and public schools? Can the ministry tell us a range of activities it has been conducting? I heard the mention of numeracy. Do we have adequate reading materials sent by a ministry in all these schools? Love the idea to promote readings. Is it mandatory to donate books to the selected school on the D.E.A.R Day launch? Will the rumored teachers' strike affect implementation of D.E.A.R Day, especially in public schools? Ministry of Education, please clarify and measure. I don't see any hand up, so I think we're going to address only the questions in the chat for now.
No, there are 4 hands. There are 4 hands that are up, Sandra. There is A.G. James Onwayne, Kenan, Warakira, and Connie. I think in that order, if you can use 30 seconds so that Rotarian Bossa takes the questions at once and we can move on. A.G. James, you can start us off for 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you very much. Mine is just asking about early childhood development, that is the ages of 3 to 6. Are they also covered in this program? And the other part of the question is that we know that government is not yet funding efforts towards early childhood development. That's the ages 3 to 5 or 6. Is there any hope that government will soon start putting funds into this very important sector of our learners.
Okay. Thank you very much, Eddie James. And I hope after you're writing these questions, you respond them at once. Kenan from Chireka Movers, 30 seconds, voice your question.
Okay, thank you. My concern is on the team, that is the district leadership in terms of education. Do we have to approach the district to inform them of our intentions, or they are already aware and we just have to go to the school? Thank you.
Awesome. Good question there. I will now invite you, Rotarian Warakira Francis from Boyogere Nambole. 30 seconds, voice your question.
Yes, thank you very much. Once, okay, so you are supposed to identify a school. Is it supposed to be a primary school or nursery? And once identified, what are the expectations do you need from the school? Thank you.
Awesome. Rotarian Connie from Rotary Club of Sonde. 30 seconds, voice your question to the ministry.
Thank you so much. My concern is that D.E.A.R has been around, but it doesn't seem to be known very much. How are we using our links as a ministry with all schools in the country that are very many to make sure that this is a national activity that is known in all schools, and actually schools plan and make sure that on D.E.A.R Day, those minutes we all just read. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, colleagues, for those questions and those that came from the chat section. I will now want to welcome you, Rotarian Bosa, to give clarification to some of the questions. I know some of the questions come directly to us, the organizers, but please do respond to those that relate to the ministry. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Rotarian Fred, and all the other Rotarians, and I appreciate the questions that have come our way. Some of them, of course, need a collective response, but we shall try to demonstrate on what we can. One, somebody was asking about, is D.E.A.R Day for primary schools only, or does it, that was in the chat. I want to tell you that education is open at all levels. D.E.A.R Day, we are talking about primary, but we are also talking about the other levels, including secondary. The challenge, though, is that it's very big at primary level. So that's why you see our reach has mostly been focusing on primary, but it's open, and we always do input and share materials for secondary schools because we also want them to read. You know, there are many children at secondary level that cannot read, nor write. There's so much in videos, there's so much in that. So that is what I can say about that. Number two, is it mandatory for us to send materials to primary schools? It's not mandatory. Mandatory is like a rule, but we are saying it is goodwill. We are looking at capacity being enhanced through support. So if you have material, which material is okay? Of course, we trust Rotary, because there are other materials that have been coming from the different corners outside the country that promote negative engagements. But we are looking at supporting materials that are constructive and positive, focusing on our objective of promoting literacy. Materials that do not derail our children from the agenda of reading, but promote reading. So it's not mandatory, but where you have capacity, where you can support, we call and thank you for that. But we also have other materials. However, our Peace Corps and of course Rotary has been sharing some materials. We hope that they can form a basis, but it's not a mandatory. Mandatory is like declaring that if you don't send the materials, you don't know. We are saying it is a voluntary activity. Why somebody was saying the age of 3 to 6 years, ECCE, and how the government is trying to intervene. First of all, in terms of response to D.E.A.R Day, we are looking at these children. Reading and learning at different levels is structured in different ways. We may say that the children 3 to 5 or 3 to 6 are not able to read, but they are able to do some soft work that is commensurate to their level. They have materials in terms of interesting items that arouse their interest. You'll be surprised if you went to some of these schools, you'll see that these children can read something small. Their literacy skills are already building up. So we have it promoted at different levels, and we want to ensure that we have the materials that are relevant to the children of that age. But focus is majorly at promoting reading. In terms of government support, yes, government is very much committed towards early childhood education and care. We call it ECCE, previously ECD. Of course, you are aware that we are developing and almost publishing the policy on ECCE. Already efforts are on ground. We have a full department in charge of early childhood and education. So a lot is going on. Rotary Fred and some few of you are members of the working group of the ECC. There is a positive direction and the sense is very positive. So apparently, as of now, ECC is in the hands of private players, but there is hope. And the plan is that government will soon, I don't want you to quote me, but there is involvement, because if we have a department and the policy is coming on board, we are destined for big and good things. Now, the other one is who is the officer in charge of D.E.A.R Day at school level? Of course, the district has, first of all, in relation to what my colleague Fred asked, we work, particularly at primary education is a decentralized service, which means that we focus our attention, including the district education officers, because they are the ones that are mandated at promoting education at that level. But at school level, we have a custodian in name of a head teacher. And this head teacher has got different players. He has got the director of studies. He has got the early grade reading school of teachers. So there is an officer in charge of academics, but our focus is the head teacher. Because as you enter school, you must introduce yourself to the office of the head teacher and tell them, I am here, we are here as requested by ministry, and of course as a national agenda that we are promoting D.E.A.R Day. So our entry point is through the office of the head teacher. Is it at primary school only? I've answered this. Secondary schools are part of this. And they are reading, of course. For them, you know that they have gone ahead. Children are even talking about, we talk about literature, we talk about other, they become electives at a certain level, but we are promoting reading at different levels, not only primary, secondary, but also tertiary institutions, including the teacher training colleges, because we are looking at the capacity of the teachers being built. How do we popularize? This is one of the platforms. That's why we are partnering with Rotary International. That's why we are partnering with Peace Corps Uganda. And that's why you are on board. You are part of the agenda to popularize. So please, let's give it the push that is supposed to be. Let's make sure that in every platform we get, we talk about D.E.A.R Day. Eventually it will become a culture and our children will be willing and ready to read. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bossa and friends, you've rightly heard the position of the ministry. We have 360 support from the ministry. And I don't want to leave any question unanswered regard that is really directed to the ministry, because after a few minutes, Bossa here will leave for his other engagement. So Sandra, back to you. If there are any other questions that colleagues have directed to Bossa, they could be in the chat section, or colleagues would wish to put up their hands. Sandra, over to you.
Thank you, Frederick. Bossa answered most of the questions that were in the chat, but there are more other questions to the team, BELEP team at the district. So I'll go through them once again, because he's talked about the ministry, its range of activities that it's been conducting. Is it for public or government schools? This is for everybody, as he mentioned. Going through the chat. Bossa, maybe I would request you to pronounce yourself more on the private schools and how they should be involved. There's a question on how someone wishes you could assist private schools with readers. Bossa, over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rotarian Sandra. Ladies and gentlemen, education is an open entity. The children go to private schools, but they are not private children. The children are sent to private schools by choice. That is, the parent can have capacity, or it could be an issue of access that the government-aided school is far from them. So all the support that can be extended to them is most welcome. We are not closing doors. I have told you that these children are national children, and when it comes to assessment, we don't have private primary living examinations. We do the same examination. So open to support to private schools, and we really call for it and encourage it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. The question on who is the officer in charge of BELEP at the schools, that was rightly answered, and would encourage that the Rotary Club BELEP officers be in charge so that the schools more or less interact with one person from the Rotary Club that is adopting a particular school or particular schools, so that we have one flow of information other than various people going to the school and in the school probably getting confused on who exactly to engage with. So let's encourage all of us, all the BELEP officers, to make sure you're the contact person to the school. Then you can share the contact of that school and the head teacher with the BELEP district team to make sure our database is well managed. There's a question on Upcountry Club organizing a D.E.A.R Day. D.E.A.R Day is celebrated differently on different dates in many countries. So this year we chose 1st of July to make sure it's the day we are using to celebrate, because it's the day we are kicking off the Rotary year 2022-2023. So we encourage everyone to just work with us on Friday, the 1st of July. Another question. Is it mandatory to donate books? Bossa answered that one, but you're always welcome to donate at any time. Though 1st of July would just be one good day for us to document how much we have done and how much we have donated to each school. So if that information can come through to us through the BELEP officers, we'd gladly take it on and also include it in our database. Yes, children of all ages can study. What other questions? Are we planning to promote community libraries as well as public libraries? We are keen to know how much Ministry of Education can pave the way. I'll also request CMP Frederick to respond to our involvement in the public libraries as Rotarians. Yeah, those are two questions. Another one is asking, would like to hear from our presenter the direction of Ministry of Education on public libraries and community libraries. So Bossa, I welcome you to respond to that, and CMP will also respond in terms of how Rotary comes in from the district. Over to you, Bossa, on community libraries.
Thank you very much, Sandra. Community libraries, because when we start it at school level, of course, there should be sustainability. We have a partner, I wanted to give you that small background, called the Reading Association of Uganda. And then we have got another partner called Room to Read. And then we are trying to promote the library. We are very happy that the president of these two, the Reading Association of Africa, is Rotarian Chiberu. Chiberu is a Rotarian and part of this country and has been so much at the helm of this. We are trying to promote community libraries, but as we say, the resources sometimes are limiting. You are still fighting with the materials at school level, so it may be challenging for you to extend, but we have centers at different districts. These districts have got a community library aspect on it, although it is not so much vibrant as it used to be. But many districts, I come from PG, I know that in PG district has got a community library at it's called the Community Reading Center. It's next to the Education Department, and I hope it is happening everywhere. But the effort is, we may not have been stocking it very much because of the limited facilitation and the requirement to have books in schools. But it is open, it's an idea we are open to, and we really call it for it. So that is what I can say for now, but we are partnering with the Reading Association of Uganda, Room to Read, and the Reading Association of Africa which is championed and led by our own Rotarian Chiberu in this country. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Rotarian Bosa, for guiding us on the position of the ministry. I see one hand that has been up for so long, and I don't want to leave any stone unturned regarding the involvement of the ministry. So, Rotarian Minor, 30 seconds, please. We need to release Bosa. 30 seconds to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rotarian Bosa. I still remaining curious on the issue of numeracy. A lot has been said about the reading, and we know for learning, there are three particular things that need to be covered: the reading, writing, and arithmetic. So I would like you to touch on the issue of numeracy and arithmetic and how we can be of help with this respect to BELEP and also the D.E.A.R Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotarian. I'm sorry I skipped the name, but I got the question very well. One, numeracy is one of the core values of education. Of course, I talked about literacy being the foundation, but because if you can't read, you cannot calculate, you cannot do numeracy, but we are focused to doing numeracy. In the past 7 or 8 years, we have been promoting early grade reading. And the agenda now on table in the next agenda, which I don't want to determine the number of years that we are going to engage in, is promoting numeracy. We are already working with the National Curriculum Development Center. Of course, we shall interest the partners. We just need to create a sense of direction on how we need it to be approached when it is ready, and we shall call upon everybody. We are still lacking somehow as a country in terms of numeracy. Some efforts have been geared towards literacy, which is positive, but we are thinking and positively focusing on starting numeracy engagements in the whole country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bosa, for your guidance. Like they say, Bosa Olimuganda Umukabuziti Yesera. So I want to ask my question as well. And my question is really, how can Ministry of Education support us to open up community libraries?
Thank you, President Rotarian Fred. How can the ministry help Rotary or any other partner to open up community libraries? As I said, this is an aspect that is already on, but with mild kind of engagement, because it has really not been. We need it. We shall engage. I'm taking it over. I don't want to give a quick response, but I'm going to take it over since Fred and some of other members are part of our working groups. I'm going to encourage and put it to the members that be to really tell us what the platform is. But to start with, we have associations that are already at the forefront. I've talked about the Reading Association of Uganda. I've talked about the Uganda Libraries Association. It's called Uganda Libraries Association. And we have also got the Reading Association Africa. These are helping us to move a little ahead. So let me take it up. I've taken note of this. We shall give response in the near future, inshallah, on this. Thank you.
Awesome. Boss, I want to say thank you very much for sparing time to come and share with us the position of the ministry.
Mr. Moderator.
Yes, DG. Yes, DG.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
I've joined you a little late. I was with the edges, but I just want to thank Bosa, Rotarian Bosa, for having found time and for accepting to participate with us in this life-changing experience we want to create so that we make our humble contributions as Rotarians to the whole idea of enhancing basic education and literacy. And the reason that we framed it the way we did was in acknowledgement, recognition, and appreciation of the great work done in this area, more so by the lead sector, which is education, plus all the departments and agencies. So I want, as one of the leaders of Rotary, to thank Bosa, and through him to thank the ministry and the government for the effort they are doing. And our coming on board is specifically in recognition of what is being done. And we are trying to enhance it using the different variables and interventions as per the BELEP framework. So I really wanted to record the appreciation of District 9213 and the appreciation of Rotary in Uganda of the role the ministry is playing in ensuring that there is learning in schools, there is literacy, and the challenges notwithstanding in terms of budget, logistical, infrastructure, and otherwise. So that's why we took this at a level where different clubs can make different interventions of enhancement. So we are looking at BELEP as a buffet. If you have a school, you can create a library, and that way you are enhancing literacy and basic education. But you could also help in terms of access, you could help in terms of infrastructure, you could help in terms of supporting empowerment of teachers with further training, retraining, and so that is how we are doing. I really want to thank Frederick, who is driving this agenda. So I thought that, Bossa, you needed to hear my voice, get my feelings, and appreciating where we are coming from, where we are, and where we want to go. Thank you, and back to you, moderator. I thought that I should share that before Bossa leaves, and then we continue as per your.
Thank you, Digi.
Awesome.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Digi. Thank
Agenda.
you, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm humbled to hear you, sir, from again. I like the engagement. He has been sparing time for this to really happen. And we have engaged in different meetings with his stewardship. Thank you very much. We learn a lot from you, Digi, and we really feel that you are leading us in the positive direction. As conclusive remarks, I want to thank Rotary International. I want to thank the Peace Corps Uganda and all the Rotarians in this country for having helped and set a ground that is going to promote literacy achievement through BELEP in this country. We pray and continue to commit our support as a country and Ministry of Education towards the enhancement of reading in this country. God bless you all. I'll be listening in at a later time. Thank you.
Fantastic. God bless you too and make you a blessing, Rotarian Bossa, and thank you for sparing time to come and discuss and clarify a few issues we had. Colleagues, I know that there were questions that regarding involvement and engagement with the ministry about D.E.A.R Day. First and foremost, I know that there are colleagues who are joining us for the first time, and we really appreciate you. And there's a question that what is D.E.A.R Day? If you look on your screen, D.E.A.R Day simply stands for drop everything and read. And it is going to happen on the 1st of July, starting at exactly 11 a.m. Number one, we are requesting clubs that would you please find a school, a primary school. This could be private and this could be public, really. But a school where you feel as a club that you're able to create impact. And when you go to this school, whom do you walk to? Walk to the head teacher. This is not the first time that D.E.A.R Day is happening. They probably know about it. But if they don't know, nothing, no problem. You can still engage with them. We have a whole committee for BELEP, and we're here to support you. Do not get stuck and you keep quiet. Shout where you need support. If you need to, sometimes it could be you need us to talk to these people. You may need a letter from us. You may need a letter from the ministry. You have rightly heard all these things are there, and you can make use of them. So when you go to this school, all we have to do is to let them know, find out where they are. But on the 1st of July at exactly 11 a.m., we want everything in that school to come to a standstill, and they're going to do nothing but to read something. Schools have readers. Those that don't have something to read. And the whole essence is we are sending a message that it is very important to read. And then as a club, you can invite or go with chief readers or a chief reader. You can talk to the area MP. You can talk to the LC1. You can talk to the LC3. You can talk to the cow. You can, every person of influence in the community to demonstrate to these children or to these pupils that, you know what, it is important to read, and not just read to pass time, but to read, to comprehend and understand. The whole purpose is we want to really amplify the importance of reading. And then this is not going to be the end, that we'll do D.E.A.R Day in these schools and walk away. Like I said, in our BELEP, we have 4 areas of focus. And for today, we are focusing only on the D.E.A.R, on D.E.A.R Day. But the whole priority area is enhancing literacy through making reading a way of life. And as you can check on your screen, what are the activities that we are going to do under this priority area? Priority area number 1, and this is actually the launch activity, is the D.E.A.R Day. Drop everything and read. So clubs will request you to engage with the primary schools. I did mention that. But also, we are going to see to it that we donate readers, donate reading material. Because like some schools could have nothing to read, or some could have something to read, but they have read it over and over again. So much so that they even know which page is torn in a book. So we can give them some more materials for them to read. So we are encouraging ourselves as Rotary clubs, Rotarians, but you can also reach out to very many other strategic partners to donate books, And these books can be used by schools to enhance reading. Like you rightly know, reading goes hand in hand with writing. So we are going to encourage that as we let these children read, can we ask them to write something about what they have read? Maybe they can, but in line with our areas of focus as Rotary. They can write about the environment. They can write about hygiene in their school. They can write about the conflict between students and teachers in their school. They can write, there are so many, they can write about the environment around their school. These are still all issues that are around our areas of focus. But they can also write about our theme as we engage with them. What is their imagination of Rotary? These are things that we can encourage these children to do. And these materials that they will write, we are not going to throw them away. We are going to publicize and publish them by way of journals, they could, by way of newsletters. We are going to publicize this first and foremost in our Wave magazine, but also across our social media platforms. But also we are talking with New Vision and Monitor to allow us space. There is space that is allowed for that every month, so that we can put these stories to encourage these children to write more. So after the D.E.A.R Day, we are encouraging clubs that would you make it a routine that every month we go to these schools and conduct a reading activity. We are calling them monthly reading tents. The whole purpose is we want to really encourage reading much more often, and so much that it will one time become a way of life, that even when we are not there, these schools will know that, you know what, it is important every month to stop. They will even take it up. It could start as a month, they will take it up as a week. Some schools can take it even in notch higher and say every day we shall have a reading moment. It could be 20 minutes, but it is very important. So all this is to make reading a way of life. I had questions about the reading libraries. Yes, we hope that we are going to work with the National Library of Uganda to revamp at least the regional reading libraries. We are going to encourage schools to open up their libraries to communities and also to other schools. Some schools have really tall walls that they books cannot be accessed. Like even when we are going to donate books, it is going to be a challenge for maybe some people in the community, some other schools, to access some of this material. But we want to see to it that we demystify this. So, friends, you can see this is what we are going to do about reading. But for today, again, colleagues, our focus is on nothing but the D.E.A.R Day. And when we talk about reading, we cannot hesitate to talk about books, okay? And we are encouraging clubs to at least support in buying books. If you can't buy books to donate on this very D.E.A.R Day, that will be very, very, very helpful. But of course, we are going to be buying books all through the year. there are different opportunities. I had a question that, are we doing D.E.A.R Day and that's it, and we cannot go back to these schools? Yeah, no, you can go back to these schools. We are saying every month, and each time you go in this month, maybe you were not able to do it on the D.E.A.R Day. Maybe the next month you would have prepared and bought and delivered books. The question is, how do we access books? Now, first and foremost, we are working with local authors. You rightly heard the ministry says they trust Rotary, that it is going to get material to read that is authentic, that is aligned to the position of the ministry. And rightly so, the ministry has certified and accepted local authors to develop reading material for primary schools that can enhance reading. Actually, not only primary schools, starting from ECD all through to primary 7, but also some actually appeal to secondary schools. So what we did engage with the authors, local authors. Remember, Buy Uganda, Build Uganda. We engaged with local authors. They gave us a very good offer. So what we are saying is we can buy in bulk as Rotarians. So what you have to do as a club is mobilize resources, and these resources can be put together as Rotary, and we will make an order. The goal, if we are buying books for the D.E.A.R Day, the goal is that by mid next week, we should have known how much have clubs contributed to buying books, and then we will engage with the authors to avail these materials. Some of these books are readily available. So, but right about now, I would like to, we have a coordinator for the authors, and Oscar is on call. I would like to invite Oscar. There are questions about this reading material. You have, in the next only 10 minutes, can you tell us about this material that you have put together? But also, I'm sharing a slide of the package that you have worked out that we can work with as Rotary, so that we can be able to really work out and buy books. So over to you, Oscar, if you can unmute and talk to us.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Oscar Ranzo, and I'm an author. I'm also the founder of the Oasis Book Project, which has been promoting reading among schools for the past 10 years. So now, we're very happy are coming on board to support D.E.A.R Day. We have curated a list of books ranging all the way from nursery up to P7. Are local, they are cultural, artistic, and literary standards, and they have been designed to not only educate but are relevant to our children, but which they might never learn in school or at home. So we are very confident, because these are books that are being used by over hundreds of private schools now since I think 2012, and the impact they've had on the learners in the schools in which they are used is very commendable. So I'm very confident that these books, once you acquire them, you will also see for yourself the impact that will have on the learners. The learners enjoy them, the learners like them, and even you will enjoy reading them to the learners. So in a nutshell, that is it. I just want to tell you that be confident and certain that the material that we have curated is great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oscar. But I want you to speak into this package that you have worked out, which is flashing on the screen. If you can please speak to it so that we can, because after this, we're going to share it with clubs so that they can see what materials are they buying and what, as they speak to other partners, what is entails. If you can really unpack this package that you have shared with us, and it is actually flashing on the screen right now, so colleagues can really interact with it. Thank you.
Okay, so we that must be able to fit in everyone's budget, and we have grouped it into several categories because, first of all, we believe that for learners, when you're donating readers, instead of donating like several titles of many books, it's better first of all to donate what we call a class set. And a class set, because when you're having these guided reading lessons, all learners must be reading the same book of the same level at the same time with the guidance of the teacher or whatever, or what we call a reading. Maybe the Rotarian will be there. So that's why we say what we call a class set. And we're thinking, because in Uganda most classes have 60, I would say 60 learners in a stream. Also, and they share, sit 3 on a bench. So we are saying that a class set, an ideal one should have at least 20 learners, 20 readers. So that's why the first category, which we call our teen package, we have 20 books of one title, and that one goes for around 110,000. So you'll be getting just one title, but 20 books, so that when you go, and that one benefits one classroom, that will be 60 people for one. So your 100,000 will be the benefiting 60 people. If you divide by that, you find that you're really donating like 3. Which will be very. Then we go on to the copper, 3 sets. And that costs like 330,000, 320, which you find then that the unit per book will be a little bit less because you're buying more. We are supplementing each package with a 10% donation from Oasis to your package. So, and then it goes up to when you go to still it's 100 books. This is now you benefiting learner from P1 to P5, each of them getting a class set. And books, the good thing about books that you buy them once, but these schools will be able to use them for several years until they wear out. So these books will impact, let's say 100 learners every year for the next maybe 5 years. So that's why that's why I partially believe that books are the best toys or the best presents to give to learners. So then when you go to bronze now we cover everything like EC. It covers everything to primary 7 because school with this donation and the ECD, because there was what we call sound series. ECD is a foundation. And there are books that are particularly called to help children. Simple, they are structured to help children acquire the 5 reading skills, which are phonetic awareness, alphabetic principle, vocabulary, comprehension, fluency. So this bronze package is really good for ECD, and we might say age, and you're asking P7, but because they had a poor foundation of reading, their reading age is for an ECD child. So these phonics books are really good to help anyone who is struggling with reading. So you find that, for example, in urban schools, private schools that are good, they use these for nursery. But in rural schools, they use these phonics books in classes like P2, P3, or P4. So we might classify them as easy, but you can do an assessment and see that, okay, this one will work for anywhere where we see challenges in reading. So this is a very good package. The silver, then this one at least now covered ECD. And then for primary, your donation will be now supporting an entire school, all the way from ECD. So the school have a full range of reading material because the way
I don't know whether it is me, but we seem to have lost Oscar. Oscar, we can't hear you very well. Your connection is not very stable. So you might need to kindly find better network, and then we can take questions to you. But friends, the whole idea is we felt that packaging these books would help us, first and foremost, approach partners, like you rightly saw. We are not placing the burden only on clubs. As clubs, we can go out there and look for partners, corporate entities that can work with us. And when you work to these corporate entities, they would like to know that with my 1 million, what coverage am I able to get? And you've rightly heard that they will get 200 books with an ECD set. And this is a set of 20 complete books with the, material that can aid children in learning. And all these details, we have the local authors to support and also clarify. But also, if you're going for a pitch, for a presentation, and you want to have these issues discussed and well explained, please don't hesitate to ask us. We have all these people as our partners. They can come and be a part of our team to explain as much as we can. But also, you may want clarification to your very club about the books that you say we have safeguarded, say 200,000 as a club, and we want to buy books. We need guidance on how we can be able to get the books packaged well. Please shout, and we'll be able to link you with these colleagues of ours to give you as much support as possible. So I don't know whether my colleague Oscar is back on. Oscar, are you on again? I don't seem to see him. There's been a bad connectivity this morning. Many of our colleagues are dropping on and off. So, but friends, if you have questions regarding this, you can channel them through the section, and we'll be able to ably tackle them. I see the first question comes from A.G. James. Please, you're welcome to unmute and sound your question.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. President. Mine is just to inquire, because we're looking at the future. Recently, I think 1 week ago or so, I was seeing MTN was supporting some communities around Serere and Teso, around the lakeside, and they were setting up a computer reading facility and encouraging people to read using this facility. I don't know whether in our plans we can also have something like that for the future, especially the public libraries, if we can, or even in schools, put 1 or 2 computers which can help people access certain other material. I don't know whether this can be in the plan. I know it's probably more expensive, but as a way of planning ahead, maybe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, because for me, I look at this program being mainstream and probably becoming one of the programs in Rotary Uganda Limited. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, James. I consider that a comment which we have picked to enrich our intervention, and definitely we will be able to discuss and explore avenues of its exploitation. I see Oscar, you're back. Oscar, are you back? Oscar, are you on call? I can see you on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm back now. Yes, I'm sorry I lost my connection slightly.
No, we understand.
But
yeah, you can proceed and give your concluding remarks, and we can take some questions to you and we move on.
Okay, so in conclusion, first of all, I'm very, very happy that like for Bele, the Ministry of Education, Peace Corps, and every Rotarian who has taken initiative to come on board and support D.E.A.R Day. Like say, reading like is a predictor of success in education. And once learners grow up with good reading skills, everything will be easy for them moving forward. I move a lot to schools, and I tell you, I've been to secondary schools where learners have very poor reading competences, and I identify a problem in Uganda. So we have a big job upon us, but since now several stakeholders are coming on board to support this, I'm very delighted, and I'm sure we're taking the right path. So I encourage every one of you on 1st July to not only see it as to not only start and stop there, but to see it as the day you take the first step in promoting reading in our land, so that we grow a generation of Ugandans who have who are skilled readers who love to read, because only then will our learners have a chance to compete with their fellow young people in other countries. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Oscar, there is a question which is very, very, very important that I would like you to respond to. There was a price list, of course, with prices of recommended books, which you did share with us, and we did share this with our clubs. The question is, how does this price list you shared with us relate with this packaging that you have given us? When,
okay,
how, when, and where do we get these books? The how, when, and where, I think you can also respond to that, but I will add clarification to that. Over to you, Oscar.
Okay, so yeah, we had the prices I had initially shared was based on the early discussion with you, Mr. Fred, where you expressed interest in making a bulk purchase. So we had talked with our printers to make a special, the bulk purchase, because we want to enable as many Rotarians get as many books, because our goal is to have as many young Ugandans access books cheaply, so that the books are widely read in the country and beyond. So we had a discussion with our printers if we could make a special print using the cheapest material, and then the cheapest material, so that the books would be affordable. So that's the price we shared. However, that would only be done if the printers wanted the order to be placed at least a month ahead, a month before, so that it gives them time to print the books and make them available, because these books will also be customized branded by Rotary. However, the package I've made, this one is for now books, because now the Rotarians are going to, with the current arrangement, we are going to just be purchasing what's already there. I think that the arrangement of having a special print is that we cannot be done in the time that we are remaining with. But however, now we have the package we have, you'll find that the prices are altered a little bit, because we're now purchasing books that have been pre-printed and already in stock. That's why there's a little bit, you might see a little bit variation. However, you see that as the package the increases, the donation, like also the price it reduces. So the people who buy like the platinum package will be getting books much cheaper than those who get the tin package. That's why we structured it. But we're still giving you books at the cheapest prices on the market, because you are buying directly from the authors. There's not any other middleman. So this is the cheapest that you can get them for in the country. Thank you. Over to you, Fred.
Thank you very much, Oscar, for your clarification. So, colleagues, the question of how, when, and where do we get books? This is the response. The starting point is organize yourselves as clubs, or even as an individuals, no problem. Once you are ready, let us know that for us, the Rotary Club of Nigeria, we are ready and we have a budget of, say, 100,000, and we would like to buy books for the D.E.A.R Day. As you've rightly heard, we have books that are already readily available. Now, that is why we are asking for this information by mid next week, so that we are able to populate all this information. And then, there are two options. You can tell us, you have the list. You are free to choose from that list, but you are free to go with this package. It will be shared with all of us on our platform today, and you can engage with this. And then after that, we will, as the team, engage with the authors. This is Oscar and the team, and place our order. And we will tell them where to deliver these books. So you let us know, the Rotary Club of Kampala Alibad, we would like to have our books delivered at Fairway. And this is our order. So we will work with the authors, and you put the contact to see to it that deliver these books before the D.E.A.R Day, if you're purchasing for the D.E.A.R Day. And that will be the arrangement for the subsequent purchases. So we'll continue placing orders as the year unfolds, because the BELEP is an annual event. We'll continue purchasing books for delivery. So because of the issue is about, again, there's a question around branding. Oscar, we discussed something to do with branding, because we are very, very, very passionate about branding in Rotary. I would like you to speak to to branding as well. Oscar, over to you.
Well, thank you, Fred. Yeah. So yeah, we also recognize the importance of somebody's donation being acknowledged. So we say that for this time, what we shall do is we shall print stickers, Rotary that have the wording donated by Rotary. Rotary will design these stickers and give them to us. So that, but it has to happen early also, so that all books are placed, I think, on the front cover and behind, and then so that the branding is visible, and then that every school that gets a book knows clearly that the books were donated by Rotary. That's how we think we can do for now. In future, when we are more organized, we can even customize books printed, customized for Rotary. They might even have a message from the Rotary president or from Fred behind it on the back cover about promotion of reading. So for now, stickers. That's what we think will be the best way to do it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Colleagues, if you have a question, you are welcome. Before I release Oscar, we have hardly 27 minutes, and I want to spare time. So a question from DG.
Thank you, President. Oscar, that is good. And I want you to appreciate the genesis of this whole idea of WELEP. One, as Rotary, we want to enhance basic education and literacy, and we want to do it through collaboration, through synergy, and through partnerships. So it is good that you are already on board as partners, but Rotary has 7 areas of focus. And one of the areas of focus is basic education and literacy, but we also have an area, community, economic and community development. So we also want to support our local community that is engaged in this ecosystem of literacy and basic education. And that is why we want to support, and we are giving due consideration and priority to the local authors. So that way, we are making a contribution in terms of supporting, inspiring, and promoting our local authors. So that is something that we need to be appreciated. Secondly, we also support our local publishers. So we are again giving serious consideration, and that's why Frederick created that partnership and that working arrangement with you. Then we also have the distributors, where you have systems of distribution. Again, they will be part of this value chain. So I really wanted you to appreciate that in as much as we are enhancing basic education and literacy, working with the conventional stakeholders like the Ministry of Education, like the private schools and private investors in schools, like the parents, like the civic organizations engaged, but we are also promoting other stakeholders in the literacy, education and literacy subsector, like authors and publishers, and we are giving great consideration and priority and preference to local, so that we support the local content and we also support the local economy. Thank you very much, moderator. I thought that this should also come out so that they appreciate that we are also adding value to what they are doing. We are going to promote you because people are going to get more of your brands and get to know what you do and how it can be useful to our community. Thank you very much, moderator.
Awesome. Thank you very much, DG. And I think, Oscar, you're welcome to stay for further engagements, but you're welcome to leave at leisure. The more communication and details will be relayed to you at a later stage. Colleagues, the reality of the D.E.A.R Day is real, that our time is fast spent, but we have just only two people to speak to us, and then we'll be done and dusted. There are two people that I would like to talk to. Number one, we are going to engage ourselves in the D.E.A.R Day, and we are going to do so many things on that day. But it is important that we get this message out there to the public, whatever is going to happen. And we have a coordinator of the D.E.A.R Day media campaign who is going to be working hand in hand with our PR and colleagues at the Secretariat as Rotary. But we would like you to hear what is in plan. And when you're with these schools, when we are telling you, take as many photos as possible, share these things with us, you need to know what we're going to use these things for. Allow me for the next 5 minutes to invite my sister, Lisa Kawoya, who is the coordinator of D.E.A.R Day media campaign, to please share with us what do you expect us of as clubs? What do you want us to do? How do we fit in this media campaign? Liz, you have our audience for the next 5 minutes, please. Over to you, Liz. Lisa, are you with us? Lisa, are you with us? Okay, maybe because of connectivity, she could have dropped off, but I'm sure she will come in again. I told you we have two speakers that are remaining for us to come to the end of our engagements. Right now, I want to invite somebody we call the grandfather of the D.E.A.R Day, the grandparents of the D.E.A.R Day, the Peace Corps, our colleagues. These are the champions that are championing D.E.A.R Day. They have done this over the years, and we want now to get clarity, to get a little more insight on the D.E.A.R Day. And with us today, we are super privileged and blessed that we have a representative from Peace Corps Uganda, which is the champion organization that is really coordinating and leading most of us in this particular activity. So I would like to welcome you, Emily, to really speak to us. We want you to speak to us from your heart about the D.E.A.R Day. Give us the roadmap. What happens? What is going to happen? What is it? What do we go forward from here? So for the next strictly 10 minutes, you have our audience. By the way, Emily is a Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Gayaza. So Rotarian Emily, you are welcome. Please give us as much insight about D.E.A.R Day as possible. This is your baby. You have the time to speak about your baby. Over to you, Emily.
Thank you so much, Frederick. Good morning, fellow Rotarians. And for today, or for now, I'm going to speak in my capacity as a Peace Corps staff. Peace Corps is a US government agency, and we work within 3 sectors: health, agribusiness, and education. And education specifically, we are focused on promoting literacy in the lower primary, that is primary 1 to 3, and our children who are just getting to start school in the preschools. So a lot more of what we do is geared towards enhancing literacy, garnering some support from parents for their children's learning, and taking on that responsibility as a community to ensure our literacy levels improve as a country, as Uganda. So a couple of different activities that we do, but I'm going to speak majorly to the D.E.A.R Day. D.E.A.R Day, this is the 8th year we are implementing D.E.A.R Day, and we are excited that it is taking shape. It is getting audience. We are having many stakeholders come on board to support D.E.A.R Day, which is drop everything and read. Much as our emphasis has been within the education sector, but we do believe when it comes to reading, it's important to everyone, regardless of where you work, what sector, what type of job you do. So we are hoping that we shall definitely get to that stage where the whole country believes in reading and the whole country agrees that we all have a role to play in promoting reading. So this year's D.E.A.R Day, thanks to Rotary, we had our very first meeting and we agreed on the theme, and I think it goes along with the Rotary theme, Imagine Rotary. And this year's D.E.A.R Day is Imagine Reading as a Way of Life. And DG, the Honorable Sebalu, sorry, I'm going to use that, came up with that theme, and we found it speaking a lot to the vision that we all have, that we imagine a time and a day when reading is part of us. You wake up, at least you read something. You don't go to bed without reading something. So I believe this is going to go far and wide in pronouncing and pounding more on the message that we want to go out there. Let's promote reading. So this year's D.E.A.R Day, with that theme, Imagine Reading as a Way of Life, we are looking at having every individual, regardless of age, regardless of color, regardless of race, participate in reading. And we only look at devoting 30 minutes on that day. For 30 minutes, drop whatever you are doing and pick up a reading material and read. You could read for yourself. You could read for a group of people. You could read out loud to anyone who is out there listening. I'll tell you that we have partners who are going to do reading drives. There is a partner in Gulu who is hiring a truck, and they are going to just drive around town in the streets and do readings. They'll just read aloud to whoever cares to listen. They will read. The message is out there. The message is clear. We want everyone to read. So what can we do as Rotarians? So in our different clubs, if the 1st of July, which is the reading day, is a day you meet, is a day you have your meetings, you could all as a club sit down and read. As a club, you could identify a school or a community and you engage in the different reading activities. It could be a read aloud. It could be a silent reading where you just mobilize the children within the school with their teachers and they sit and quietly read. You could go in as a guest reader to a school. It could be your child's school. It could be a neighboring or a community school, and you read to the school. You read to a specific class. You read to a particular group of people. So those are some of the things we could do. As we are looking at it happening only for a day long, you could have it a week long, you could have it a month long, depending on how you want it to happen. So plan out, think of a reading activity. You could actually do a community reading where you set up a tent in your community and you have people coming in and reading. You could actually be a part of provision of the resources for the reading. Have some books, share them out in a school, share them out in a community library. That still gives the access to a material to someone out there. So we're looking at it being very intense, like having everyone involved, regardless of who you are. Now, what does the day look like? Leading up to the D.E.A.R Day, we are going to have a press conference. Our partner KCCA is organizing it. The press conference is going to be at the KCCA offices. And the event is going to be graced by the US ambassador. She's going to be part of the press conference. The ministry is working with the different departments to ensure we have the state minister for primary education present. We will definitely have the district governor elect. That is, and I believe by that time he is now the district governor, Honorable Rotarian Sebalu. representing Rotary, and all our different other stakeholders who are involved. This year, we are uniquely placed with incorporating reading for our children who have different learning difficulties. So we are incorporating in sign language reading, and that leads me up to what next after the 29th. So on the 29th, we'll have the press conference. And on the 1st of July, we are having our National D.E.A.R Day celebrations at Mulago School of the Deaf. Again, we do believe having these children brought on board sends a stronger message that reading is for everyone, regardless of who you are, regardless of what sort of disability you have, you can still read. So our national event will involve the ambassador reading for these children. Of course, she will be having an interpreter. Sign for the children. So July is going to look like for the national event. Outside of the national event, every district, every school that we have been in touch with through the different district local governments under the ministry will have different schools participating in the reading activities. Some of our partners who are out in the field are reaching out to several other schools to get them on board, to bring them on board. And basically on the 1st of July, there is going to be multiple reading in different angles, in different corners, in different locations. And we are glad Rotary is coming on board as well to increase that reach, to expand, to widen the reach to each and everyone who will be part of the reading. So that is what I can say about D.E.A.R Day in itself. This is an activity that happens every year. So this year it's happening in July, and we gracefully accepted to have it in July because it fits within the Rotary year when it starts. That was 1st July. Thank you. I'm happy to hear if there are any other suggestions or questions. I will be online. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rotarian Emily, for your communication and clarification given regarding the D.E.A.R Day. Friends, should you have some questions, comments, concerns that you would like to put to Emily for guidance, she still has some time with us, but like I said, our time is fast spent. If we can use strictly 5 minutes for this to allow us time to bring this to a close very well. So I will invite again my friend, Sandra, to use the next 5 minutes to receive questions, comments about Emily's submission, and then we can take it on from there. You're welcome, Sandra.
Thank you, Frederick. Let me check our chat room and see which questions we have. I do not see any question clearly related to a former speaker, but if you have any question, please feel free to raise up your hand and sound the question. Anyone with a question? Okay. Can we promote recorded read aloud? That is one question coming in from Flavia to Emily. Can we promote recorded read aloud from the students or pupils? Any other question? Please feel free to raise your hand if you want to ask your question loud and clear.
There is a hand up.
Okay. Please go unmute and ask the question. Please unmute and ask the question.
Yeah, the hand has gone down. Maybe she could respond to that.
Okay, Emily, you're welcome to respond to that.
Maybe Sandra.
Do we have to also forward any proof of participation afterwards?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to thank Emily because we are working together in this. We're in it together. We had that very first meeting in the Ministry of Education, and our view, or my view as a team leader, because the best gift you can give to anyone is something you value most. And as Mike Sebalu, the most valuable aspect of me is the education and the literacy that I was given by my parents, the schools that I went to, and all those that contributed to my education. So as a leader of Rotary, I felt that in this Rotary year of Imagine Rotary, there is something we need to give the community. And we need to give the communities what we consider most valuable. And that's why the idea of BELEP came into being, Basic Education and Literacy Enhancement Program. So that is what we are giving. That is the legacy we are leaving behind. That is our contribution. So many years long after we are gone, our posterity will appreciate that there were people who valued education and spread it more so through literacy. So I want to encourage all clubs to participate, all individual Rotarians, working with all your partners, working with all your stakeholders. Let's get the parents involved. Let's get the community leaders involved. Let's get our leaders, the political leaders, the church leaders, the traditional leaders, come out and read, and you will see the kind of impact that will have. And the promise that I made to the stakeholders of the D.E.A.R Day was that D.E.A.R Day will never be the same with Rotary coming on board. So I want us to demonstrate that through numbers. Let's go out there and be influencers of reading. And let's have evidence. If you can take a picture while reading, take it and share it on our platforms. If you can do a short video, share it, we shall put it on our YouTube. If you have a full recorded, please do it. Let's have evidence of this activity. We are going to have a link. Let's engage, let's participate, let's be available. So my message is to thank Emily and the team. We are in partnership for this, and we want to live as per our bargain, that this time around it should be bigger, better, and bolder. And we want to meet the expectations of all the stakeholders. So thank you, Emily. We are there. Mobilization is ongoing. All the clubs, we want to have kind of a BELEP week. I have already communicated to the presidents that their first fellowship should have something to do with literacy, with reading, with all those activities, the entire week, so that the clubs that begin on Friday, Monday, Sunday, Monday, up to the next, let that be a BELEP week in terms of this engagement. And the presidents have given me all the assurance that they are going to have it factored within their programs to ensure that their first meetings of the year do reflect and resonate with this commitment we've made. And it is an activity we are going to carry through the entire year. So be ready for amazing things coming up, amazing engagement as we promote basic education and the literacy enhancement program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, DG. And Emily, there's one question that had been posed to you, but I think DG has been able to answer that. Question to President Frederick: how do we help schools without registration numbers to qualify in BELEP D.E.A.R Day? But this is licensed. Thank you. Okay. So Emily, probably could just have your closing remarks. I don't see any other question to you. And then we can head
But
back
I have a
to
hand. I have a
Frederick.
hand up.
Oh, please unmute and please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, moderator. Mine is just not a question, but a suggestion to all the partners on this program, Peace Corps, Rotary, and of course our authors, the local authors. My suggestion is that it would also be good for us, especially when we want to scale it up to the higher level, the tertiary institution and so on, to work with the authors and see how these books can also be put in a digital form, so that there is either video clips or audio formats of the books. Personally, I read a lot of books on what they call Blinkist. I subscribe to Blinkist, and I read a lot of books, audio and some of the some platforms video. I think that could reach another sector, especially in universities and tertiary institutions, and even secondary schools. Like when they're on holidays, they have smartphones. They would be able to reach that sector as well. But to protect the authors, this has to be by subscription. And then instead of a Rotary Club maybe buying the hard copy books, they could actually buy a subscription, which can then be shared with the readers in the various schools. That could be another channel. We can't ignore technology. It is also another medium that we can be using concurrently with our current efforts. Thank you.
Sandra,
Thank you.
That is a welcome idea, because we already engaged in e-learning. Actually, we have a big component of the e-learning. Even the president of Rotary International, when he was here, he extended some support to Uganda in the aspect of e-learning. So that is something that is already envisaged within our planning phase, and definitely it is an integral part of the overall scope of the BELEP outreach. And you put it so well. Audiobooks are trending and they are easy, and to some people they help them comprehend better and even enjoy the same. So the e-component is very, because even when we talk about the libraries, we are going to get to a level where we support e-libraries across the educational institutions. So it is something that we already have on our table, but we are moving in a phased manner, but it is something that we must work towards too. The idea of books on shelves may not last long given the speed of the e-space. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Rachel, if I may just chip in a little bit, this is Emily again. I really buy the idea, and I like that we are looking at different sources, different avenues of reaching out to different types of audience. So a pre-recorded or recorded books still makes so much sense. And if you have the capacity to do it, you can do it. Before we go into the authors having their books, audiobooks available to us or online, as a club, we are looking at the low-hanging fruits. If you do not have the time, you can record a reading. You can record a reading that is played to the learners, to the children. We have another partner who is doing that. They read aloud, they record it, and this is played over the radio stations. So the children know, oh, there is a book hour, there's a reading hour. So they sit and listen to someone reading for them out there. Then we look at our children who are probably do not have sight, and they are not able to access Braille books, because we know that's something which is way costly for many of our communities. So if you have a recorded book, if you record yourself reading aloud a book, this could benefit such a learner who cannot read, who has no sight. So exploring all the different ways of sending the message, ways of reading, ways of providing that information to someone is highly welcomed. And then how do we forward proof of participation anywhere? Yes, we do have a toolkit that was shared with Frederick, and Frederick, I believe, shared with all the different clubs. That toolkit has a reporting form, and the purpose of that is right now, D.E.A.R Day is a mass media campaign to encourage reading. So we want to see the reach. We want to see how many people we have reached. So if you participate, taking a number of pictures like Rotarian Honorable Sebalu mentioned, take pictures, share it on our different media platforms. Lisa Kawoya is online. She's the guru when it comes to media publicity. Share it with us. We will spread it as far as we can. Fill out the forms. Highlighting the participant groups. We do award certificates to all our participants. So if it is a community, then that community gets a certificate. It's recognized for their participation. So that is the purpose of the proof of participation. So if you complete your forms, there is a link, there is an email where you send those forms, which we retrieve and we compile and we present a report at the end of the event. So thank you so much for that question. It had skipped my mind. I hadn't talked about it, but we are happy and we are eagerly waiting for all those reports coming through. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Emily, for your guidance and for your submission. Friends, our time is fast spent. I would like to request that we borrow only 10 minutes to allow us bring to the close. And of these 10 minutes, I want to give Lisa Kawoya 3 minutes to tell us briefly about the media campaign for the D.E.A.R Day. Lisa Kawoya, you have 3 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Frederick. A good morning to everyone that is present here. Thank you very much for investing in the reading culture of Uganda. This is Lisa Marie Kawoya, and I am the Fundraising and Partnership Manager of NJUBA. NJUBA is a catalytic children's education organization that focuses on the learning outcomes of children. So I believe some of the reading materials may come from NJUBA as well, because we publish Afrocentric books. But in this, since I have very little minutes or few minutes, let me just talk about the media campaign. So in terms of media, we will be using the hashtag or something to make it fast spread of D.E.A.R Day 22. So that is it. As you take pictures and share on the different social media platforms, we shall be using the hashtag D.E.A.R Day 22. And with that, we've been able to engage a few social media influencers, of course, to make this broad. They have already started making tweets, sharing the books they're reading. And also we have seen that people are also sharing the books that they are reading online. This is on Twitter as well, or mostly on Twitter. And then also together with Peace Corps, we are working with New Vision or Vision Group to run a media campaign on D.E.A.R Day and the importance of reading. So Vision Group, I'm just going to read out what Vision Group is going to do for us in this partnership. So what Vision Group is going to do is it's going to publish 2 quarter-page colored ads of the scheduled program in the New Vision paper on days that will be decided by Peace Corps and Njuba. And then also they will publish 2 quarter-page colored ads for D.E.A.R Day in the Bouquet Day print or newspaper that will be decided on the days. So we shall also organize a 15-minute interview with on Urban TV to promote the program. So one of the stakeholders, definitely on the different partners, will have to get engaged in this interview. We'll also have another 15-minute interview on XFM, that is on radio. They'll also run for us some posts on D.E.A.R Day. So it would be great. Some social media posts that is on New Vision, Urban, and XFM. We know that Vision Group has a reach of almost 1 million followers on their social media platforms. So that is also a plus, that this reaches out to different audiences and different people so that they can get involved. And what happens is that it triples the effect that even other people, when they see people are participating, and that's why when the DG and Emily mentioned that please take the pictures, please post them, it encourages other people that, oh, this is happening, then they also get involved. So Vision Group is also going to provide editorial support to the event. So they'll come and cover the KCCA meeting and also the one for Mulago as well. And also they'll provide that will be the press coverage for the launch of this partnership as well. So that is it on our side. There is there's a D.E.A.R Day number in case people need to reach out to find out more about D.E.A.R Day and any materials they may need. That is inclusive of the toolkit. The number is on the poster that you're seeing on your screen, could be on your phone screen or your laptop. I'm just going to read it out aloud. That is 0772 139678. So when the person calls, definitely I'll be behind and answering. So in case of any questions, anything, I'll be there to just support. And that is it. Again, the hashtag is D.E.A.R Day 22. Reason why I'm emphasizing on the hashtag is because the more we use that hashtag on our different social media pages, then the more we trick the algorithm for it to reach the different people to use it. So thank you very much. In case of any questions, I am here. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Lisa, for the amazing submission. Friends, if there's 1 or 2 questions that you would like to pass to Lisa, this is the time. You can right now raise your hand and we'll give you a minute or so to ask your question and it will be really responded to. Okay, I don't seem to see any hands. But friends, let's take as many photos as possible and let's share them. You've had the hashtag. Lisa, I'm going to request if you can share the hashtag in the chat section for our colleagues to know that that's the hashtag we shall be using as we post and share all these posts. But also remember to really share and post with us on our Belly platform that we have, and we'll be happy to definitely relay the same to our partners. So colleagues, our time is fast spent. I would like to use the remaining we are remaining with only 5 minutes. I want to use only 2 minutes to really bring you up to speed with what is upcoming. And thereafter, I'm going to invite our district governor, Honorable Dr. Mike Sebaru, to give us the closing remarks, and we'll call it an engagement. So first and foremost, I want to begin by giving the clarification that I did give at the beginning of this meeting, that there was a bit of miscommunication about the flow of events and the flow of activities. But like you have rightly heard, that the D.E.A.R Day, standing for Drop Everything and Read, will be happening on July 1st. And we want to say thank you very much for all these partners. D.E.A.R Day usually happens before the July 1st, but because of our signature, our district signature program of basic education and literacy enhancement program, because of its alignment with the D.E.A.R Day, we did request that it is extended to the 1st of July, and we thank you because you accepted this. So this happens to be our first activity as we launch out to our signature program. So our appeal, and like indeed the district governor said, goes to you Rotarians and Rotary clubs. Please, let's participate in the D.E.A.R Day. We request that come the 1st of July, you should have started by now, or you can start to engage with schools. For those that are not registered, like you rightly said, you may find a way of we can identify them uniquely. Maybe if they are licensed, share with us their license number so that we can be able to know that we are dealing with authentic schools. So go to these schools, talk to the school administration, and share with them our plans and purposes is really to enhance the literacy through making reading a way of life in these schools. But the D.E.A.R Day is actually the start event. Our appeal again to you is that once every month, let's go to these very schools, communities, and see to it that there is a reading activity that is happening. And for all these engagements, please report on this. I will be working through day and night to see to it that we enhance literacy through reading. So that is the first announcement and clarification I would like to make, that yes, indeed, we are on, and clubs are more than encouraged to go to our respective schools to conduct the D.E.A.R Day on 1st of July, 11 a.m. So after that, I want to make mention that on the 29th of this very month, 29th of June, as you rightly heard from Emily, there's going to be a press conference that is going to be hosted at KCCA City Hall. As you rightly seen, KCCA is also our partner. D.E.A.R Day will be happening as well in many KCCA schools. And we are going to have a press conference at exactly 10 a.m. that is going to be happening at KCCA. We want to talk to the media and to the entire country about this D.E.A.R Day and how things will be working out. We will create a link that will be shared with us for us to follow through this press conference live. So friends and colleagues, here is another announcement that I would like to pass across, and I want to encourage you to save the date. After our engagement in reading on the 1st of July, we want to climax this with a dinner, which is the launch day. And this dinner will be happening at Fairway Hotel, starting at exactly p.m. We again want to make an appeal to you Rotarians across our district. If you can, please save that date and book a card with us. We'll be sharing the details within this week. By Monday, you will have the details of this card. A card will go for only 100,000 Uganda shillings. So the event starts at 6. Come and let's climax our launch of our basic education and literacy enhancement program, but also celebrate the D.E.A.R Day that you would have engaged in at the beginning of the day. And the beauty is, friends and colleagues, that part of the proceeds of this 100,000 shillings will go to support the BELEP cause, and the details of which will definitely be communicated on the dinner day. So do mobilize, arrange. We are going to send with you the card that has the details and the contacts that you can reach out to make your payments and book your place. The seats are really numbered, but we want everyone and everybody to be with us. So kindly take note of that and mark that date. Again, we have shared with you the packages of different books. We'll continue to engage. Let us know. We would request that you would register with us, please, by early next week. Let us know which schools you'll be working with, and if you would like to have books delivered to you for the D.E.A.R Day. Let us know the amount of money you have. If you have selected the books from the request list, no problem, let us know. But if you want to work out a package, please let us know. We have shared with you the different packages. We will reshare on our platform so you can be able to pick from the package, and we'll be able to work with our authors to guide and deliver the books where you decide that they should be delivered. So colleagues, I want to say thank you very much for your time. It is right about now that I would like to invite our team leader, the district governor, Honorable Dr. Mike Sebalu, to give us our closing remarks, and we'll call this an engagement. DGE, you are welcome, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Frederick. You are such a blessing. You are such a celebrated person in the area of championing the cause of literacy, and you've done it over time. So everyone will appreciate that my choice of you to lead us in this initiative is the best decision I ever took. So thank you very much, Frederick, for putting it together, coordinating us, linking with the different partners that we do have in place. You're really good. And I must say, I do truly appreciate and thank you for that. I'd like to thank our partners. We've got very strategic, strong, viable, and serious partners. And when we had that working group meeting in the Ministry of Education, and we chose as Rotary District 913 or Rotary Uganda to participate and to be part of this initiative, I did make an undertaking that the D.E.A.R Day will never be the same, and indeed it will never. It will always be better and better, because it is going to be an annual event in which we are going to participate as a district under the BELEP program, because the BELEP program is enhancement. We will always get a way of participating in any activities associated with literacy and education. So Emily and your team, Juba and Minister of Education, KCCA, and all the stakeholders in this, I just want to say we are uniting for a good cause. Our unity of purpose is well founded and well informed and well intentioned, because what we want to leave behind is a literate society. This whole idea of saying that if you want to hide anything from an African, put it in writing, is something we want to negate and we want to disprove. If anything, we want our population, be it the old population, we also have ways of we want to engage with them in terms of functional adult literacy at some point, because we really want an empowered population. And the best way of empowerment is through literacy and education. In Rotary, we've got what we call diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is being seriously championed by our Rotary International President, Jennifer Jones, who implored us to imagine Rotary and also to dream, act, and do big. So my own imagination of Rotary was that Rotary is an amazing organization made up of amazing leaders and members doing amazing things in amazing ways. And the way we want to demonstrate doing amazing things is through D.E.A.R Day, through BELEP, because BELEP is an enabler, BELEP is an equalizer, BELEP is a facilitator, BELEP is what levels us. Through BELEP, we can able to be championing diversity, because through diversity, when you read and write, I went to school, met people of different background, interacted with people of different races. Through my educational life, I've been able to interface with the diversity in all its forms. Through education, I've been able to benefit from equity. I can sit with everyone on the table. I'm with you. It's because of the little education that I have, that we have something in common and we are interacting. Through education, you are able to do inclusion because once people are empowered, then they can belong, they can be part of anything. So by championing diversity, equity, and inclusion, BELEP is one of the best tools to do so. And that's what I opted for it. So let's go out there. 1st of July is the day we begin our year. We begin it with a clear statement that during the year and during our tour of duty as leaders, we need to do something to increase the literacy levels, to increase the interest in literacy, to get everyone appreciate and champion the cause of liberating our people by empowering them to be able to be literate. So we are doing it together, and any contribution is welcome. Even when you donate one book, let us all be donors in our own right. Let's give back to community. Let's give the books, let's look out for the packages, the corporate entities where we work, we can bring this on the table and they pick up a package and be able to offer it to BELEP for distribution. So let's use our different networks, our different contacts to champion the cause of BELEP, because it is the right thing to do and it is the best thing to do. So let's go out there and do amazing things in amazing ways as we empower our community to be literate and to appreciate education through the BELEP program. Thanks go to the BELEP team. Sandra, you're doing good. Of course, team leader and your entire team, you are celebrated members. And I do truly thank you and appreciate you. Thank you very much. Back to you, convener and moderator, for the way forward. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, DG, for your wonderful and amazing remarks. Colleagues, this marks the end of our engagement today. I will only suggest that due to public demand and the realization of the fact that we need to engage a little more as we near the D.E.A.R Day. So we will have another brief engagement next Saturday for only 1 hour this time round to really hear from colleagues and clubs what are the underlying challenges that you would like us to speak to, what are the underlying concerns that you have that you would like us to clarify and guide upon. And that way we'll be able to see nothing but a successful D.E.A.R Day. So we will share the link during the course of the week, and we'll have our next engagement on Saturday. So I want to say thank you very much, colleagues and comrades, for your time. It's a weekend, but you have really been patient. We don't take nothing for granted. Thank you very much. May God bless you and make you a blessing. Have a good weekend, and bye-bye for now.
Thank you, convener. You've made our day.